This is Served with me, Andy Roddick. Please hit subscribe. We drop new episodes every week. Listen, the other thing I'll say, and I said it quickly in the recap show, and I'm curious to hear you just finished talking with Zverev's team, and you're just fresh off to level set. I know you all are listening to this on Tuesday morning. JW literally went from the courts to his room and we started the recap show. So you're fresh off of kind of the Zverev car wash where they're reacting to his win. I mean, they have to be ecstatic and relieved.
That's the key word. I mean, there is a real mix. And I have to say, I mean, look, let's just, we're truth tellers here. I mean, opinions about Zverev are all over the place and we don't invalidate any of them. But one thing I think you got to give him credit for is there was no self-delusion here. He knew what the rap on him was. He knew that this was the one missing element. This was his 25th title. I think he went over like $65 million in prize money. I mean, this is a player who has accomplished everything but this major, and he knew that his tennis definition was going to be, is he or is he not going to win a major? And he kind of leaned into that. So there was this weird mix of absolute joy. We were joking. He fell on his back, and usually a guy wins a set 6-1, 6-love, even if it's a big title, and it doesn't quite have the emotional propulsion. But he fell to his back, and one of the reasons was this relief and the fact that he knew what the deal was. He knew he'd been in a fit. I think something else about this tournament that I wanted to add that kind of fits into this is that all conventional wisdom went out the window, right? So like Mensik in the second round gets carried off on a stretcher, and you're like, he's cooked.
Well, especially playing Diem in the next round.
Yeah, exactly. He's playing Divinor. It's like, I wonder if he'll even get a set. He rolls through to the semis. And so you say, the momentum's all going in the other player's favor. And then Casper Ruud is looking great. And then Casper Ruud recovers and wins another 5-setter. So not only is health and recovery so critical, but the conventional wisdom of who had it and who was going to be beat up and who was, Cerundolo plays a 5-setter and then he plays another one. And this match had the same thing. This was sort of the perfect capstone match. It was not the greatest tennis. It was batshit crazy. It was drama. It was entertaining. And Caboli stones that volley at set point, and then he hits this absolutely brilliant stone cold winner to push it to a fifth. He leaves the court. That's kind of weird. You'd think he'd want to keep the momentum going. And then he sort of hits the wall. And I feel like that was a pretty good metaphor for this tournament. Everybody said, Zverev's in trouble. This match went to a fifth. He was 2 points from winning a major. It's, he looked scar tissue.
He looked cooked after 4 sets, by the way.
He looked absolutely cooked. And you're like, the accumulated scar tissue and more interest to the accumulating interest. And then he closed it out in like 20 minutes. I don't know what the time of that last set was, but it was barely competitive. And it was sort of the perfect encapsulation of this entire event. Not only strange results, but strange process to get there as well. And but anyway, to your question that you asked about 5 minutes ago before I started filibustering, this was joy, this was relief. Jez Green is there, and he's the physical guy.
I've always really liked Jez Green, even back when he was with Murray. I think he's great.
100%. And this was also a match that showed that when it's very easy shorthand to say mental versus physical, but this was as much about sort of keeping the body and dealing with the stress and the stress imposing itself on the body and the mind. I mean, this was really the overlap of mental and physical. And it was, 4 hours and 16 minutes. There were cramps. There were, I don't know if you caught they made a big deal out of it. I was watching with Petco. We were like, you can't do that. When Marcelo Melo came to the side of the court and gave him tablets and a drink and some advice, we're like, that was in the rule. I mean, this match sort of had it all. Zverev got it together. There's joy. There's relief. He gets his first major. He didn't have to beat a top 10 player to get there. And you know what? It doesn't matter. He beat the players on the other side of the net. He won 7 matches. And his whole career has been redefined.
Does it change when Melo gives you something that you're missing? Does the umpire take into consideration that Zverev's a type 1 diabetic?
He had already given himself a shot during the match.
I know, but I'm just saying,
he gives himself a shot. Yeah.
But my favorite part, yes to everything you just said, was completely gratuitous with a shot clock. Like Zverev at that point, he was willing probably to take the time violation, which is his prerogative. But in true, like, this tournament form where we're not using electric line calling and it completely fucks Casper Ruud in the second set of a match, where we're not moving fucking linesperson things that sit in front of them and players are getting injured tripping over them. I like how you let the clock go to 45 seconds. In that scenario, you let Zverev get away with it for 20 seconds longer than the clock. And then right as he's about to serve, you call time violation, which causes us to lose another 20 seconds. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Either do it or don't do it.
Right.
What are we doing? It was absurd. I don't know. Like, it was just wacky all around. I'm happy that you said it. This was a pass-fail course for Zverev. There was no, he played hard, played great, he'll take something from this. There was nothing to be taken from this unless it was the big trophy. Like, I don't know that I remember another scenario in tennis where it was yes, no, zero room for middle ground. And I don't think that was, and listen, I always try to explain, or at least do my best to explain from the player's perspective, and that this sport isn't easy. Right? Let's talk about why it's hard. Let's talk about why it's difficult. It's not an accident. I said the other day in a recap show, it's never an accident when Kaboli hits 3 winners and has 16 errors in the set 1 of a Grand Slam final. That's not just nervous and I forgot how to play tennis. It's all because of patterns and how someone else effectuates the rallies and everything else. This was an absolute pass-fail course for Zverev. There was no middle ground. Even for someone who's like understands it and doesn't like it when people just use things like that, you know, oh, just flip the switch and play better. Like, okay, fuck me. God damn it. That's like, you can't really, that's not easy. But he passed. Doesn't matter who he played. Doesn't matter how he did it. Doesn't matter. There was no style points. This isn't up to the judges. Mm-hmm. This is win the last point. This is winning 3 sets 7 times in 14 days, or in Roland Garros, 15 days. Got it done and earned it, did it. I don't care who was in the tournament.
It's a great point. You're knocking down that free throw or you're not. This is a binary. And sometimes you can say it was COVID and it was wacky and we couldn't find any rhythm because there were no fans. And you can say Carlos was just too good. And, you know, on a hard court, Sinner is just too. This was, listen, dude, you're either walking out with that trophy or you're not. And there's really, and also, I mean, no Carlos, no Jannik. I thought a Djokovic getting the crowd and turning this into the 91 Open and sort of hijacking the tournament was a real chance. None of those impediments. He played 2 night matches. He spent less time on the court. I mean, there was just, he woke up this morning and it was basically like, you're either gonna do this or you're not. And no bullshit, no excuses. And there's no way to spin this as anything other than success or failure.